What's up, y'all? It is Kiwan. I am back with with the best man, the final chapter, season 1, episode 8, Pieces of Us. Woo, this was a lot. Um, so listen, I really want to thank everybody for going through this entire season with me. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I really, really, really do. I hope I made sense. Um, I hope I did. And if you have not watched it, I really strongly suggest that you go on Peacock and actually watch it. It's pretty good. It's really good. Um so the episode starts with Mia singing to LJ after giving birth to him. So Lance is probably having a flashback from when LJ was born. Lance is at Mia's gravesite. She's talking to her. He's at Mia's gravesite talking to her. And we see that Lance recites that love is patient, love is kind, because he hears Mia say it over and over. Love is not easily angered. It protects. Love always trusts. Love always hope. Love always perseveres. Love never fails. Love never fails. It's probably this is the scripture I have been saying probably almost every day for maybe about a month now. About a month and a half now. Since November. I keep it on my desk and I say it all the time. Anyway, Lance has an honest moment, and but he also believes that he's failing LJ. I disagree. I just think that this isn't easy for him to deal with, and he has been dealing with it all wrong. Doesn't mean you're failing him. It just means you need to learn how to navigate just a little different. So Lance actually prays. In this moment, he asks God to help him and help him understand LJ and to change him. And he said it twice. God, change me. God, change me. I want to believe that this was Lance's moment of clarity. When I think sometimes when you think you're about to lose someone, a lot of stuff kind of sets in, and sometimes your reality kick in. So Robin is back at Lance's house. Everybody's over there. Robin's cooking breakfast. Harper goes up to Robin and asks her if they can talk. She tells Harper they need to be focused on Lance and his family and not his lack of transparency. So in the next scene, we see Lance is talking to the police. Lance is extremely upset of the questions that the police are asking him, but there are standard questions. Jordan is now helping answer those questions and also keeping Lance calm, because Lance is, again, he's visibly upset, and then I understand. So Kennedy walks in and gives them info on LJ friend, and he may know where LJ is located. So Lance and Jordan is headed over to the friend's house, and the officer tells Lance to stay off the police scanner because it will drive him crazy. And so as soon as Lance jumps in his car, the first thing he does is listen to the scanner. So they head over to LJ's friend Lex's house, and they give Lance some pushback on the whereabouts of LJ. And before Lex could answer, LJ's whereabouts, what's her name? Jordan phone rings. Jordan phone rings. She goes to Lance's car. She's on the phone, and she hears she hears the officer talking over the scanner saying that they found a black boy, 6'11", could be unalived. And so she screams and calls Lance's name. Lance runs to the car and he speeds off. She was like, there's something happening. I didn't know. I was trying to turn it up. Jordan is in a panic in this moment. And so Lance turns it back and he hears the description of the young black boy that they found. And so Lance speeds off immediately and he calls the detective. And the detective is like, I don't know what's going on. Lance was like, you need to check. And he was like, I'm going to call you back. Lance was like, I'm on my way. And the detective was like, no, I'm going to call you back. And so he immediately called Lance back and told him it was not LJ. Him and Jordan are relieved. So in the next scene, Lance and Jordan had stopped somewhere. She grabbed water and she gets a call from her doctor. And her doctor tells her that she's not pregnant. She gets into the car with Lance and she gets emotional about the life that she has planned. She said she planned her life to the T. And for the first time, she was ready not to be in control for once because she wanted to be a mom. And she also feels like that this is her last chance of being a mom. Lance tells her, Jordan that, I'm sorry, y'all. Lance tells Jordan that she would have made a great mother. And the way she cares for the kids. Lance also thanks her for stepping in and being what he was incapable of being. And so Lance gets a call from Tony saying that they found LJ. Lance goes to this church where LJ was located, where they accept the LGBTQ community. It's accepted there because the pastor, I want to say he's one of the LGBT community people. And so Lance sees LJ sitting in a pew. He tells LJ, you had everybody scared for a minute. LJ asks Lance to sit and listen, and he tells Lance he doesn't understand that he doesn't understand if he's not welcome in God's house, his house, then where does he go? LJ then tells Lance that this is when he met Lex, and Lex introduced him to Pastor Calvin, and they saved his life, So they reminds him, Lex and Pastor Calvin reminded AJ that God loves him and loves him because he's him. And so LJ was like, well, how can God love me but you can't? And so Lance tell LJ that that he does love him and that he apologized for not showing up for him. He also tells LJ, you are my child, you are Mia's child, and you are a child of God. And they hug it out. Lance takes him home where everybody's waiting and everybody embraces him with all the love around him. So the next morning we see little Mia going downstairs looking for her dad. She looks all around the house, but he's not there. So at this point, Harper has already moved out. She goes into her mom's room and asks her mom, where's her dad? And you can tell that Robin has been crying. So we flash forward to 4 months later. Robin and Harper are at their divorce proceedings. And so Harper says Robin can have whatever she wants. He just wants things to be least disruptive for Mia. So as far as the house, they're proposing an equal split from the sale. Harper says that they're not selling the house, because he has moved out and he's a lot, he has Robin and Mia staying in the house. Robin then says, I don't want the house. And Harper was like, well, where are you going to stay? Robin says, Ghana. Now, at this point, this throws Harper completely off because he had no idea. So Robin says she didn't want to tell him because she knew he was going to react a certain way. And she didn't want to debate with him. Harper tells Robin that she blindsided him and instead oh, I'm sorry, that she blindsided him, and then he proceeds to say that she's trying to punish him. She tells Harper this isn't about him, but she's trying to build a home and be happy in a place where she can be seen. Harper tells Robin she can be happy, but Mia has to stay. Robin says this could be good for Mia and that she will have a wonderful time. She had a wonderful time this summer, and she can grow up with people that actually look like her. He asks how are they supposed to co-parent in two different countries. Robin says she knows that it isn't ideal, but he has all access to Mia. Anytime he want to come, anytime, he has all access to Mia, because keep in mind, Harper is a writer. So he's not clocking in a, he can go wherever, he can work where, he can just be wherever. Harper tells Robin that he cannot support this, and she tells him either way, she's still moving to Ghana. So Harper is at Quentin's. He's complaining to the guys about Robin moving to Ghana. Murch tells Harper he should consider moving there. He tells Murch that his life is there in New York. But Murch tells him Robin and Mia is your life and that you can move wherever you want. Harper said he's not going anywhere. He's not moving to Africa. So Quentin asks, how are you going to stop her? And this is when Murch advised him contesting a divorce can get nasty. He has seen it done, and the children are the ones who end up being hurt. He says it also not only does it get nasty, but it strips him and Robin of whatever friendship that they can have. So Quentin tells him to do what he has to do to stay in his daughter's life. He don't want to, you don't want to miss any of that. That was a lot. I just don't think Robin was wrong. I don't think she was wrong. I don't think Harper was wrong, but I don't think Robin was wrong. You have to do what makes you happy. So everybody's over at Shelby and Quentin's getting ready to go to Lance's celebration, and Robin is banging at the door. She walks in very angry because and she's looking for Harper. She's screaming Harper's name. Harper comes out, and we found out that he filed for custody without talking to her. He tells Robin that he's like, oh, we're gonna do this here. And Robin was like, yes. Harper tells Robin that he did what he needed to do to keep Mia close to him. So Shelby asked what was going on. And Robin tells Harper to tell his friends that he trapped her in a place she don't want to be because he can't have his way. And he asks, when is he supposed to see Mia? Robin tells him, basically, I told you already had all access to Mia. That wasn't a problem. That was up to you. He called BS. He tells Robin she closed that door when she filed for divorce, and every move she make has been selfish AF. I was really flabbergasted by that, but whatever. So Robin tells Harper that he wrote the book on selfish, And in the background, you see Quentin sipping his drink, shaking his head, and smiling. Now, I don't know if he's smiling because he actually thinks that this is funny or because he knows that, this is to be true about Harper. So Robin tells Harper he has always put himself first in their marriage time and time again. She also tells him that he forced everyone in his orbit to do and act like he see in his head. She says that she's not a character in his book. So Candace was like, hey y'all, can you calm down? And Harper was like, you know what, Candace, you need to mind your business. And Murch was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't talk to this one like that. I was here for that. And so Harper gets mad and starts yelling. So he's like, I'm not talking to her, but I'm talking to my wife. Robin says she's done talking and tells Harper to let her go. He then screams and tells her to go. But Mia is staying. Robin gets extremely angry at this point. And she tells Harper, F you. And tells him he's a piece of SHI. Harper says to Robin, F you, you fake African fake African Kunta Kinte. My bad. Acting like I ain't never seen Roots. So it's getting bad at this point. So Robin says, F you, Uncle Tom Clarence Thomas, and tells him get that stick out of his yada yada yada. He tells her to go. He tells her to leave. Like he's screaming at her, then you need to go and you need to leave. So Candace goes after what's her name? Robin. But before she goes after Robin, she looks at Harper and say, you mother effer. You mother effer. So Murch says to Harper, I told you this would happen. I told you if you file, this would happen. Harper said, he says, I told you this would get ugly. Harper says to Murch, it's been ugly. He's telling him it's been ugly and that he ran out of options. Murch tells him you always have options. You had plenty of options. He then says every time he choose himself over doing the right thing, he always chooses him. And we've seen that time and time again. So Shelby asks Harper, do you not see what you're doing to Robin? And Harper is like, she's the one who's filing a divorce and moving to a different country. And so Shelby in that moment was like, mothers do what they can to protect their children. And so Harper goes low in this moment and says, so just like you did by keeping Kennedy away from Quentin for 10 years, was that in her best interest? And Quentin in the background like agreeing. And so Shelby turned to him and said, well, what the F you just said? And so he turned to Harper. Y'all know he have to make a joke out of everything. Keep my wife's name out your mother effing mouth. It was funny, but he just had to make a joke out of it. And so Jordan walks up and her and Shelby exchange words. She tells Shelby that Shelby needs to grow up. Shelby was like, here you go, protecting your friend. Go ahead and protect your friend. And Jordan was like, you need to grow up. Harper leaves out. Robin follows behind him. I just don't understand where there was a need to tell Shelby she needed to grow up. I don't think she did or said anything wrong. But, I guess. So at the retirement party, the press is asking questions to Lance, and we now see that Lance is now supportive of LJ in their decision. And I'm happy about that. So Harper is the only one that actually shows up and congratulates him. He gets emotional and then he leaves. But before he left, Lance asks him, was he okay? And Harper tells him that he's not okay. So then Lance is sitting with the kids. He sees Jasmine and he's staring at her. So Faith and LJ tells him to go talk to her. He gets up, go talk to Jasmine, and we found out that Jasmine now lives in New York, and that she took a job in at the Hilton Hotel where they are sponsoring his event. He's very happy to see her. You can tell, he really likes Jasmine. He introduces Jasmine to the kids, and she tells him that he has a beautiful family. So, in the next scene, we see Quentin on an exercise bike, and Kennedy comes in the door, and at that moment, he thinks he's having another heart attack, but it's actually a panic attack. And for the first time, he hears, while he's having the panic attack, he hears Kennedy call him Dad for the first time. So, in the next scene, we see Shelby outside of NBC. She sees that same young lady that she saw online with the social media site. And I think in this moment, Shelby realized that her time has been up over here in this sector. And then she gets emotional, and then she heads home. I think it just, she came to the realization that I'm good. This is it. And so, in the next scene, we see Mia and Harper at the park eating lunch. She asked him to write more kids' books because the books that he's writing is all about, racism, people being mean, and all of that. So before she starts to eat her food, she sees a homeless man digging in a trash can. She takes her burger and she goes to give it to the homeless man. And he was like, "Why did you do that?" And Mia was like, "Well, we have more at home, right, Dad?" And she was like, "We could get more." And he says, "Yeah." So he shares his burger with her, of course. In that moment, he really sees Robin, because we've seen Robin to be selfless throughout this entire series, throughout the movies. Like, she's always been selfless, and not just for him, but with everybody. And I just want to point out how cute Mia is. She's such a cute little girl. Oh my God. Anyway, so in the next scene, we see Quentin trying to cook for Shelby. She hasn't made it home yet, but then she finally walks in the door, and he wanted to surprise her with a meal, but everything is burning. He pulls her to the side. He takes everything out of the oven, pulls her to the side, and apologizes to her. And he tells Shelby that he thought he was having a heart attack. And he also tells Shelby he doesn't want to die, but he wants to make better choices. And he tells her that Kennedy called him Dad for the first time. Quentin gets really emotional in this scene. And Shelby gets emotional as well. And she tells him that I did everything because she did everything for him because she loved him. And she doesn't want to see nothing happen to him, and that he is her world. In the next scene, Harper drops Mia off. She goes, she tells Mia to go wash her hands, and Harper tells Robin that he withdrew the custody claim because Mia has so much of Robin's spirit, and he doesn't want her to lose that, and neither does he want them to fight, but he wants them to start to figure things out. And in this moment, he gives Robin his blessing, and she thanks him. And I think that's all Robin wanted, was support. And I definitely thoroughly enjoying the changes that people are making. You see Quentin, not fighting against Shelby, and what she's doing for him because she loves him. You see Lance not fighting against LJ, but accepting him because he loved him, and because it makes him happy. And now you seeing Harper not be selfish and thinks of Mia and Robin because he loves them. He loved them that, hey, I'm going to do this. And he wants to make everything right. And I think this is how co-parenting should be. It should be exactly like this. I'm here for it. So y'all, in the next scene, we hear Gladys Knight, Neither One of Us, starts to play. Y'all, if that part didn't tap on my emotions, I really like the song. And so this is where we see Robin. This is where Robin and Mia move Sagana. Harper is buckling Mia up in a seatbelt, and she asks him, can he come? He tells her he can't, and they talked about that, but he will visit. And she begs him to come, and she just becomes a sad, just so sad. It's sad. And so he closes the door, tells her to, just be good, just that type of stuff. He tells her he loves her and closes the door. So as Robin coming down the stairs, Harper asks Robin not to leave. He tells her that he will change, and she tells Harper that he will not change, and she can't be his version of her anymore. He tells her she can be whatever version, any version that she wants to be, but just don't leave. She said, I know it's hard, but I have to do this. And she's doing something for her for the first time in a long time. He pleads with her to stay, and she can't. She gets in the car, she leaves, and then we see Harper goes into the house. He goes into the room, sits on the foot of the bed and cry. I mean, he was really crying his eyes out. So I want to say it was later on that night, the doorbell rings, and it's the guys. They bring food, drinks, they're playing cards, they're setting up everything, and Merch plays music. They put everything on the table, the food, the drink, and all of that. Lance tells Harper they need a fourth. So Harper gets up, goes to the table, and Lance make this a funny moment. He says, "We about to run a Boston on you ninjas." And y'all remember, that's what Quentin said in her very first one. So everybody started to laugh. Was like, we didn't think you was going to say that. We had no idea that was coming out. And so in the next scene, we see Jordan back at MSNBC. And people are asking her questions and talking to her. And just, it's almost like you can see the stress that sits on her. And, what are we going to do? She quit. In the middle of a meeting, she quit her job and leave. And it was the first, when she walked out, she unbuttoned her jacket and she took off her scarf. And the background music that was playing was "Break My Soul" by Beyonce. And in the words that describe her to the T when it comes to her job, it was almost like it was this level of freedom that she just experienced. So, and I was happy for her because she been needed to do that. She's been stressed out. She's been like that at all her jobs. In the next scene, Jordan and Harper are walking and talking. She tells Harper that she's pivoting and taking care of herself. So Jordan is moving, really mindful on moving into that self-care space. And so, she asked him, "Hey, where are you going to live? Once you sell the house, what are you going to do?" So Harper says he he's, and she asked him how he's doing. He said he's hanging in there. He's selling his house. And he says that he tells Jordan Brooklyn can be his next spot. Jordan says to Harper, no, yeah, he was like, Brooklyn can be my next spot. And he says, you never know what can happen. So Jordan tells Harper, I can't be your safe space to land. And she said, it won't be over for a long time. And she won't wait while he worked through it, but he needs time. And she says that he needs time alone, not with her or any other woman. And she tells him if it's meant to be, it will be. And so we actually flash forward to 2 years later, and we see that Harper wrote a book called Pieces of Us, and he is now the Pulitzer Prize winner that he's always wanted to be. And after the speaking engagement was over, because remember, in the first episode, he was in a dressing room at the speaking engagement. It started there and it ended there. And so he thanks his friends, and he tells the guy, I have good friends, and and stuff like that. So everybody was there. See, in the beginning, in episode 1, when he talked, I thought that it was just Jordan that was there, but it ended up being everybody. And so everybody's out in the wait in the sitting area because it's over. Robin is on FaceTime with Harper, and so they're really good friends. They have become really good co-parents and really good friends. He thanks Robin for being her, and that made me smile, y'all. That really, really made me smile. The fact that they can co-parent and really come to a resolve. Because Robin isn't a bad person. Her choices wasn't bad. She just wanted to be happy. And what made it so hard is that her happiness has to come from another country. But she needed that. And I'm glad that she was able to get that. And so she tells him, tell everybody thank you. He asks about Mia. She tells him Mia is at a play date, but all along, Mia is actually there to see him and visit him and surprise him. And so she was like, Robin tells Harper, hey, you have a surprise coming in. And it's Mia, and he's so happy. She's happy. You can see the smiles on everybody's faces when Mia came in. It was just so cute, that moment. And so we then find out that Lance and Jasmine are now engaged. She had a big rock on her finger. And then we see Candace shared her story with the New York Magazine. And it turns out that other women had came out about it. It wasn't just her. And not only that, she finally got her doctorate degree in philosophy. And this is where the series ends. Y'all, it was good. It was triggering. But most importantly, it was really, really good. 7 and 8 was probably the hardest. I watched it the other day, and maybe I was just too emotional, but it made me cry. Just knowing that you have somebody that has made all of these sacrifices, and all they ask you to do is just make one sacrifice for them. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a lot. It was good to see how everybody navigated. The acting was amazing. I think it's had Murch. I love to see Murch act. I love to see him on screen. Is it Harold Perrineau? I forget his last name. But he is an amazing actor to me. I just thought that everything was well thought out. It didn't leave the end. It didn't leave nothing open to where you can make something else. I think Malcolm Lee has done a great job with The Best Man, The Best Man holidays, and capped it off with this series. I think him putting Shelby and Quentin together was the best decision. I think for so long we've seen Harper and Jordan try to come together, but it just never worked. I'm kind of glad because it was something that I think everybody expect, but we did not expect him to divorce Robin. That's the one thing we did not expect them two to have a divorce. I'm glad that Lance found someone, and it wasn't just anybody. We see that Lance again found Jasmine. Jasmine was a very nice woman. Overall, it really was a good series. I hope not to expect anything else from this. I just thought how they ended it was really good because I think they started in their 30s. The movie actually started when they were technically in their 30s or something like that, 20s or 30s, going into their 30s. And then you end while you're in your 50s. Like, I think in this movie, Harper was he said a half a century old. So in the beginning, that's what he said. So I want to say he probably was 50 years old. Again, this was good. And that's all I have to say. I appreciate it. If I did not say in the beginning, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And tomorrow I will have Married to Medicine and RHOP. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.